In 2019, the Dawson family set off on what should have been a peaceful weekend in the mountains. They were never seen again. What happened that night? The last footage recovered may hold the answer. The Dawson family, Jacob, Emily, and their 6-year-old daughter Lily, had planned their weekend trip to Blackwood Peak for months. Jacob, a seasoned hiker, had always been fascinated by remote locations, and Emily, a photographer, was eager to capture the untouched beauty of the region. Despite the mountain's reputation for strange occurrences, they dismissed the warnings as mere superstition. On October 12th, they set off, driving up the winding roads before parking their SUV near a rarely used trailhead. They hiked for several hours, finally setting up camp near a quiet, mist-covered lake at the mountain's base. That night, Lily giggled as Jacob told her a bedtime story about fireflies dancing in the dark, while Emily sat by the fire, staring up at the star-filled sky. Everything seemed perfect. Then, they disappeared. 3 days later, when Jacob failed to call his brother as planned, concern turned into alarm. A search party was dispatched, reaching the campsite by the following evening. What they found was deeply unsettling. The Dawsons' tent remained standing, zipped shut with their belongings neatly arranged inside. Their camping gear was untouched, flashlights, food, and extra clothes all in place. The fire pit, once used to warm them, held only cold ashes. There were no signs of struggle, no overturned objects, no animal tracks. The only footprints around the campsite belonged to the family, yet they abruptly stopped a few feet beyond the tent. There was no sign of where they had gone, no trail leading into the woods, no drag marks, nothing. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air. Authorities expanded the search. Helicopters scanned the area, drones flew over the dense tree cover, and search dogs were deployed. The dogs, however, behaved strangely, whimpering and refusing to follow any scent beyond the campsite. Then, a week later, a breakthrough. Jacob's phone was found resting on a moss-covered rock nearly 5 miles away, deep in the forest. The phone was damaged, likely from exposure, but forensic experts managed to retrieve the last video recorded. The chilling footage, the video, time-stamped on the night of their disappearance, was shaky and dimly lit. Jacob's voice was hushed and strained. "I don't know what's happening. Something is out there." The camera panned to the forest, its darkness impenetrable beyond the reach of their campfire. The trees loomed, silent and still, yet something about the footage felt off. Then came a sound. It was distant at first, like the wind whispering through the trees. But it grew louder, a low, guttural hum that didn't belong to any animal. Jacob's breathing quickened. The camera shifted, catching a glimpse of Emily, clutching Lily tightly, her wide eyes locked on something beyond the fire's glow. Then, a shadow moved. The screen turned to static. With no further leads, authorities eventually closed the case, citing environmental hazards as the likely cause. Perhaps they got lost, perhaps they fell into an unseen ravine. But those who reviewed the footage weren't so sure. Local legends speak of Blackwood Peak's dark history. Centuries ago, indigenous tribes avoided the area, claiming it was cursed. Early settlers spoke of people wandering into the woods, never to return. Some believe the mountain is home to an ancient, unseen force, one that watches, waits, and sometimes takes. Hikers who venture too close to the Dawsons' last known location report eerie sensations, being watched, whispered warnings carried by the wind, and the overwhelming urge to leave. Some claim to have seen flickering lights in the forest at night, resembling fireflies but moving unnaturally, as if calling someone forward. To this day, the Dawson family remains missing. What really happened on Blackwood Peak? The answer may never be known, but one thing is certain: the mountain has not given them back. The Dawson family's fate remains unknown, but one thing is certain: some mysteries refuse to stay buried. If you enjoyed this story, hit like and subscribe for more terrifying unsolved cases. And remember, some places should never be explored alone.